By now, you're probably wondering, what am I looking at? Well, let me tell you. It's CRSED, F.O.A.D, which stands for Fulfillment of All Desires. This is a free-to-play, brutal, multiplayer, last-man-standing shooter that boasts realistic weaponry with dark mystic abilities. This game was developed by Darkflow Software. It was released back in December of 2019. It's a relatively small game as far as storage space goes, coming in at just under 9 gigabytes. This game is available across all platforms, but all the gameplay you'll be seeing today was recorded on PC from the Steam store. Now, this game had me scratching my head when I found it. First, I was wondering how was it that I'd never heard of it. Second, when I read the description, I was kind of just like, what the hell kind of premise is that? After just a little bit of digging, I learned that this was a re-release of a game called Cuisine Royale, renamed to better describe the game. Because what's better than having one absolutely shitty name? That's right, 2 absolutely shitty names. But either way, I was intrigued, and I wanted to know what made this game tick and if it was any good. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am Mookie from the Mook Nation. Before we begin, I want to remind you to tap that like button. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button and smash that little bell so that you get notified every time new Mook Nation videos get uploaded. And as always, make sure to tell us what you thought of the video in the comments below. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, should you be willing to give this game the time of day? Well, sit back while I break down the 5 things you need to know to help you decide whether or not this title will be using its dark mystic magic on your precious time to find a home in your insanely valuable hard drive space. Let's go! Number 1, the graphics. So right away you'll notice that the game looks, well, pretty good. While it's nothing groundbreaking, there's a few things that it does that some of the other games should really take note of. For example, the game world actually looks nice. It's not quite the picturesque quality they boast on their website, but still it's far better than I was expecting. The graphics are, I would say, above par for a free-to-play game, and the environment is very impressive. A few of the highlights for me would have to be the lighting, as well as the shadows. The vegetation looks realistic, as well as providing realistic cover, and the ground. Yeah, you heard me. I'm in love with the ground in this game. It looks, well, like real ground. The way it seems to look like mud and grass is just mind-blowing to me. But nothing compares to the snow. Not only does it look like fluffy, powdery snow, but the way that it becomes displaced by the character is truly amazing. I don't know of any other games that has snow that looks like this other than Red Dead Redemption 2. If you know of any, please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to check them out. And now, for the bad. My biggest complaint is that even with VSync on, I can still every now and then see some vertical tearing. But it's very minor, and nothing that's going to ruin your gaming experience. However, when equipping some armors, there are some issues with items clipping, and I absolutely hate clipping. Nothing takes the immersion out of a game like items poking out the side of your head or a tree coming through a wall only to have everyone carry on like normal. I can only imagine that in a game like this that it's insanely hard to eliminate clipping issues everywhere. But the one place that you absolutely should not have them is on your character. Other than that, sure, the character models are underwhelming, but the rest of the game truly does look phenomenal. Number 2, the gameplay. So right away, this game proves to be different, as you just spawn into a random location, no planes or parachutes, and I'll be honest, the first time I thought it felt kinda cheap. However, after 1 or 2 games, I actually began to enjoy it. It seemed to eliminate that instinct to just find a specific spot to go or to try to hold down, causing a more random experience. The very next thing that stood out was how fast the safe area shrinks. Again, at first it seems like it's rushing you, keeping you always on the edge of death. And then you realize, well, it is, and you are, and so is everyone else. It's a truly unique feeling from the other Battle Royale experiences, as I found myself running from bush to bush, trying to stay in cover, yet always advancing. Once you find yourself in combat, then that's when the game really starts to shine. It takes a realistic approach very unrealistically. While the gunplay feels okay, there is some room for improvement. For example, aiming down the sights is very vision restricting, making it insanely hard to use open sights with any automatic weapons. Because once you factor in the recoil, after that first shot is fired, you'll have lost track of the enemy you were originally firing at. Then there are the Mystic Forces, which are kinda lame, but when you see it in action it looks okay. I'm not really sure that many of them serve all that much of a purpose, at least not to the straightforward approach to the game that I took. All the character abilities that I use seem to really complement the game, never causing any imbalances. Also, the other thing that allows CRSED to stand out a bit is the ability to play in both first and third person modes. Not many games have done this. While I was enjoying the third-person experience, I can definitely see the appeal of a first-person mode. This should allow for all types of players to be able to play this game without too steep of a learning curve. Number 3, player population. So, while I'm not sure the specific number of players online at any given time, here's what I can tell you for sure. Never did I have to wait to get into a game. It was always a pleasantly quick experience going from the menu to the game. Every match had dozens of players. I know this isn't overly specific, but it's the best I could find when trying to figure out the actual player count in any given match. I've seen the counters saying 30 players in a match before, so the games are not completely empty. Now, with all that being said, they most definitely are not 100 to 150 player matches, but I absolutely love that. I actually feel like this game has the perfect sized match that really complements its quick safe zone shrinkage. It makes it to where the games don't feel too chaotic or empty. Number 4, the maps. So, this is pretty straightforward. I feel like the maps are superior to most of the other games on the market. And I don't just mean battle royals. I mean most games in general. Remember how I was going on and on about the ground and the bushes? Well, that is a big part of why these maps are so awesome. It feels like they built parts of the maps just to utilize those bushes as cover. Not many other games do that. Usually the bushes are all just cosmetics. I wish there were regular team deathmatch game modes to play in these worlds. Unlike most empty, flat, or linear maps, these felt like forests and meadows with creeks and puddles. The way they utilized hillsides and valleys is truly amazing. It's an amazing balance of open and covered where the world actually can be utilized in strategy and advancement. I give the team responsible for bringing these maps to life a gigantic high five, because this is what I have been waiting for in a game for so long. It has always been my opinion that the most important part of any game is that the world feels real. I think this is especially true in games like these. Number 5, replayability. Okay, so this is where I'm torn. While the game has limited game modes and a smaller selection of characters, it truly doesn't offer that much of a variety in that way. So even I was surprised when I found myself sneaking a few games in between working on this video. The truth is, the gameplay is good mostly because of the way you can play, thanks to amazing maps and a fantastic gun selection laying around the world for you to find. I found myself trying to sneak to truly be one with the environment. Then next game I was the Terminator just walking through the woods trying to blast my way to victory. The point being, with a realistic and masterfully crafted environment, your imagination is the limit when it comes to how you want to approach each match. And if you are like me, and always thinking of new ways to still not win, then I think you'll find yourself playing this game quite often. I think the honest answer of what the replayability of this game is going to be will be a case-by-case situation. While I do think many people will be as surprised as I was to find themselves wanting more, a lot of others may not be as motivated to return. Okay, but is this game any damn good? In short, I'd have to say I did in fact enjoy the time I spent with the game. I will even go as far as to say that it earned its place on my hard drive for the near future. Whether or not it's for you, well, that's a question only you can answer, but I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I would recommend that if you like Battle Royale games, or even just shooting games in general, that you give this game a try. There are not too many games that would give you good graphics, fun gameplay, and some of the best maps on the market for absolutely free. And on top of that, the game comes in at such a small size you won't be making too much of a sacrifice even if you end up hating it. Well, that's going to do it for us here today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, as well as tell us what you think of cursed F.O.A.D in the comments below. Also, if you haven't already, remember to subscribe and ring that little bell so that you can stay up to date with all the latest Mook Nation content. Also, remember to go check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at MOOKIE and Twitter at MookieStinks11. I'd love to hear from you. I am Mookie Stinks, and until next time, stay safe, my friends. Peace.